Today, we are going to talk about doing business in Africa, opportunities and negotiations. As many of you, if you have not listened to me before, I was born and raised in Africa, so it is a continent that I am extremely familiar with. And today I've chosen this topic because Africa is becoming increasingly attractive and easy for Western companies are identifying new opportunities on the African continent. For this reason, both European countries and the United States are implementing policies to access African markets, although China is the main investor and supplier on the continent. Chinese strategy has consisted on investing in primary sector, mainly mining, to obtain raw material and to supply mass consumption products and medium technology. In addition to the reform that most African countries have been implementing over the last decade, there are several reasons for Western companies to consider this continent their target market in the coming years. Population growth. Africa's population, currently 1.3 billion, is expected to double by 2050. Sustained economic growth, according to International Monetary Fund's forecast, average growth in sub-Saharan Africa over the next 3 years will be over 5 per annum. Assumable country risk. The French insurance company COFACE or COFACE gives several African countries, Côte d'Ivoire, like Ivory Coast or Ghana, a country risk rating of B, which makes it possible to insure both investments and exports. Formation of middle class. In addition to South Africa, the most advanced and leading country in the region, there are other countries such as Angola, Nigeria, Senegal, Ghana, Morocco, with a growing middle class that is in position to purchase imported product. The financing part, what they prefer on that one, Africa is the continent that has the most financing from multinational institutions, World Bank, African Development Bank, and others, to undertake investment projects in infrastructure, energy, environment, agriculture, and training. Geographical proximity for European countries, especially Mediterranean countries. Africa is a closed continent in geographical terms compared to Latin America or Asia. However, despite all of these incentives for doing business and invest in Africa, it is very important to understand and keep in mind that the African business culture is really different from that of the Western world. Although the business elites of African countries have been educated in Europe, mainly in the United Kingdom, East Africans, that is, and France for West Africa. When negotiating with African, Western companies must take into account 5 relevant aspects that are discussed right now. And then we are going to start with the use of time. Time is one of the few things in abundance in Africa. Showing haste can provoke rejection or mistrust. There is a concept of the past and present, but not of the future. Negotiations or negotiators concentrate on what is happening now, mostly in the short term. Business planning do not exist. Issues must be dealt with on a one-to-one basis, otherwise a lack of seriousness may be conveyed. Personal and professional relationships. Work is not the focus of life in Africa. Personal family life takes precedence. The foreign negotiator must spend time developing personal relationships. There is a high degree of formality, but also of hospitality. The foreign executive should not show superiority or should not mention Africa's backwardness, as Africans are very proud of their countries. Given that many of the transactions in Africa are aimed at the public sector, it is necessary to establish a network of contact with officials in government, ministries, and companies, or to reach them through local agents and representatives with the appropriate connection. Communication guidelines. This is what I can tell you. Although it varies between country to country, but communication in Africa is high context, indirect, and not very expressive. Education and etiquette are highly valued. Professional titles are used in presentations. Africans are very careful in their comments. They often tell their interlocutor what they think they want to hear so as not to make inconvenient remarks. On a personal level, Africans are rather reversed. They do not convey too much emotion or express thoughts on deep subjects. They prefer to keep the conversation on superficial level. It is not appropriate to enter into political or religious conversations, as this could offend the sensitivities of the other party. Concessions and agreements. In most African countries, especially in former British colonies like Nigeria and Kenya, concessions are made slowly during the negotiation process. The essential aspect of the negotiation is the price. A common tactic used by buyers is to ask for price reductions, is to mention competitors' offers. The request for concessions uses direct language, and it is usual that the conceding party shows an attitude of displeasure. Contracts do not have much value and are therefore not very detailed. Personal relationships and verbal commitment are more important, so weak judicial systems makes it difficult to bring claims for the breaching of contract clauses. Decisions in Africa are made in an authoritarian and centralized manner by the head of the organization, sometimes referred to as the big man. Authority is not questioned. Loyalty and trust between managers and employees is highly valued and plays an important role in decision making. The norms derived from tribal culture can be more important than the rules set out in the country's legal code. If one looks at the map of Africa, it seems that the territorial division of countries was made by drawing straight lines or by geographical features, rivers, mountains, ranges, rather than according to the historical circumstances of each country. Thus, the different cultures are that conditioned in negotiating styles of African executives must be associated more with ancient kingdoms or tribes. There are more than 3,000 of them than with national borders. African culture is a strange mix of ancestral customs and Western values inherited from the colonial era, with the significant differences between countries. If you need more training, you need more information on how to negotiate in the business climate of Africa, please reach out. We'll be more than happy to set up a time and a date where we can talk or provide a training that is suitable to your endeavors. That's it for today. Thank you.